My parents helped spark my creativity by really just always being silly, and we also had a family therapy night with puppets, so we'd each get a puppet, be able to talk to each other.
Where do you think Tiffany got her creativity?
I don't know.
My name is Barton F. Graff. I taught my son Jerry Graff the definition of irony and a thing or two about humility. I came home from school one day and my dad was in the kitchen reading the local newspaper, the Lexington Minuteman, and he was laughing his ass off.
My dad would always tell me every single day is an opportunity, every interaction is an opportunity, and really what it comes down to is what you make of it.
The thing my parents gave me the most was a sense of possibility. I think creativity is all about really believing in what's possible.
I asked him what was so funny. You know that stupid crosswalk law they passed for the center of town? He said, yeah. Why is that so funny? Because a pedestrian got run over. And then he started laughing his ass off again.
When I was 6, I used to draw print ads in the hallways in my parents' house on the walls. And back then you could get spankings, so I actually got one. And then my parents sat me down and actually showed me how to do an actual print ad, and my life has never been the same.
Two things I think my parents gave me was the word bored doesn't exist. There's space and time and you fill it with stuff that's going to create stuff. And my dad was very interested in the question, what else? And always asked us, what else? What else can you do? What else can you add to this? What else can you create?
And you know who got hit? The town select woman who pushed the law through. And you know she was thinking, you have to stop because I passed this law. And guess what? What? He didn't. He didn't.
When I was little, my dad and I would go fishing. What I learned from those trips, to have your own ideas and to think your own thoughts, you need to be far away from people. For me, it is probably being in the middle of a lake in a boat alone.
As a young kid, my dad would bring me down to work with his customers because my dad was a tailor. By doing that at such a young age, I learned the values of service and how important service is. And I understood how to deal and handle very important executives because that's who he dealt with.
My father taught me to never quit anything, certainly when the going got tough. The lesson I learned from him was, you know, you sort of have to pick a lane at some point. You might have multiple passions, but certainly when it comes to you know, being creative.
Ask for forgiveness, not permission. I know that's a trite saying, but I think it's true. If you believe you've got an idea, if you believe you've got a way of thinking, if you believe there's another way of approaching something, just go for it, do it, find out if it works, and if it doesn't, what's the worst thing that can happen?
It's being truthful to yourself before you're truthful to everybody else. It's not about not lying, but it's not never ever lie to yourself.
And he said I pushed the envelope with my clothes, and that he looked the other way when there were questionable outfits.
So this is my mum and my dad. But the biggest thing they taught me happened before I was born. The greatest try of all time. And when I watched this with my dad, we must have watched it hundreds of times, he taught me about the brilliance and the magic of this. How they took risks, ignored the standard rule book and played out a position. How 15 of the best players of their era worked together as a team, not a loose group of exceptional individuals. I think that's a lesson I try and apply every day. Because as Ray Kroc said, none of us is as good as all of us. Thanks for that lesson, Dad. I miss you, and I'll never forget it.